Hello, and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue.
And Colin Cunningham.
And I'm super excited today because we're talking about one of my favorite filmmakers.
All right. I'm going to investigate this again because you said this before.
I don't know why. I love Kenneth Branagh so much. Honestly, I looked at his IMDb, and I actually haven't seen a lot of his movies.
Really?
A lot of the ones I've seen are the bad ones, like Artemis Fowl.
So why is he one of your favorite? So you said this before. I remember I asked. I don't recall the answer. Maybe because I just it evaporated in my brain, or why would you call him one of your favorites?
It's one of those things that when you watch something in high school and you become obsessed with it. First of all, I love Hamlet, the play. Mm-hmm. And then I watched his version of Hamlet, and I told you it was so long that our teacher couldn't show us the whole thing in class. And I said, can I take the VHS home? And she said, yes. So I did. And I watched it, and it's over 4 hours long. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely thought it was fantastic. It's just so self-indulgent, and I love it, right? And that's him. And then later I saw him in acting roles, and I know that he directed Thor and stuff like that later.
You haven't seen Frankenstein, have you?
I have, but I caught it on TV one night, so I think I came in the middle. Okay. I didn't see the whole
favorite
thing.
Filmmaker, Kenneth Branagh. I love Hamlet and Thor.
Yeah, what else has he done?
Lots of Shakespeare. Henry V, Much Ado About Nothing, and Midwinter's Tale.
Much Ado About Nothing, yeah.
So we watched the Hercule Poirot ones.
Of course. But I don't know why. I like him. Yeah. I just like him.
Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit.
Right.
Which was news to me because I did not know he directed that. It's very weird. He seems to have become a journeyman director in his later years.
Here's the thing about
Belfast was pretty good.
Branagh? How do you say his name?
Branagh.
He is so lame. So lame.
But he thinks he's cool, and that's why I love him.
He does. You know what? Because on stage, he was king shit. He was supposed to be Laurence Olivier with Henry V, and it big, I don't know about box office, but critically, lots of attention. Mm-hmm. And then people were all right, what do you do next? He's dead again. They're oh, okay. What about what's next after that?
More
Peter's Friends, I guess.
What's Peter's Friends?
Big chill-esque.
Oh. There is that, what's that musical movie that has Matthew Lillard in it? That looked interesting.
That Kenneth Branagh directed?
Yeah, and he's in it too. Is it
Love's Labor Lost?
Yes,
no,
that's
it.
Yes,
it is. It's a Shakespeare movie.
It is, yeah, but he decided to make it like a 1940s, 30s musical. Okay. And I've seen clips of that.
There's nothing... he doesn't take chances. He's a lame high school theater teacher.
Yeah.
Who's we're doing as you like it. People are okay, I guess.
You say he doesn't take chances, but look at all the weird movies he's directed.
They're not that weird, though.
They aren't really.
Artemis Fowl's pretty weird.
The Magic Flute. They're didn't Ingmar Bergman do an adaptation of that? Yeah, but mine will be lamer and more forgettable. How about a remake of Sleuth? And it's ugh, no.
Okay, but he does have a style, and it is Shakespearean, I would say.
It's very dramatic and bombastic
and over the top. He's like the theater version of an 80s action director.
But see, I don't know about that because theater directors, when they're directing movies, I find that oftentimes you have Baz Luhrmann, who directed The Lion King, Julie Taymor.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
It's really
that, Beatles movie.
Over the top and
Spider-Man Against the Dark's Julie Taymor?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but Branagh's movies are better than those.
Oh my God. I find Dead Again, and we'll get into it, kind of flat. And
I disagree.
Yeah, I kind of disagree.
No, I love it.
A lot of long conversations in rooms.
Yes.
And someone said it best where they're if Brian De Palma directed the same script, it would rule.
Yeah.
Well, it's
very De Palma-esque.
Kenneth Branagh is doing Hitchcock meets Shakespeare meets Brian De Palma flourishes. And also, it's a mystery thriller of the 90s, kind of not maybe before they really took off, and there was a million of them.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I'll say about Dead Again, and I know I'm going to harp on this a lot more too, is I find it very, very visually dull. I don't find there's enough flair there. But we'll talk about performances.
I disagree.
I'll say
It could have been better, but man, the editing is so great. I love it. But
it's all right.
It does have its moments, but yeah, I don't think he's really known as like a great visual director.
Stylist. Yeah, and this is a script that I feel like it's so over the top.
Yeah,
and like. I mean, the performances are over the top too. Have you guys ever seen Kenneth Branagh in Woody Allen's? I think it's Celebrity.
No, but you mentioned this last time we talked about him, and I was like, I need to watch this.
He does such a pitch perfect Woody Allen that it's like, this is not fun to watch. Like when I heard about it, I was like, oh, that'll be great. It's gonna be so funny. And it's like, oh no, this is just like Woody Allen in a bad movie.
He's a master of accents. This Mr. Branagh.
He is not a master of accents.
I agree. I didn't think his accent in this movie was so hot. It's okay.
I think it's okay.
Better than Andy Garcia.
I was kind of surprised.
I think it's okay. This is the way I would describe the movie. It's like a real solid 3-star B movie from 1946.
It's something
That's
like
exactly.
Yeah, your parents would watch on TV and tell you about. Like, you know.
Well, I never even heard of this movie until I think you told me about it, Colin.
Yeah.
And apparently it was well received. Like it's got high
Roger
rating.
Ebert gave it 4 stars.
But
That's
like nobody
crazy.
ever it's not. Maybe it's just I'd never even heard of this. Like maybe like my parents would have known about it, but like because maybe it was a big deal. Do you remember if it was a big deal when it came out?
I just remember it because my friends watched it in high school and then told me about it, and then
were they like, this sucks?
No, they're like, oh, it's pretty cool. And then I like went over to their house the next day, and he still had it, and then we kind of watched the scissor scenes and all this sort of stuff, and it was just so. I think we were kind of laughing at it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying this is some magnificent movie.
No.
It's okay. I'm not gonna say bad. It's over the top, and it's so over the top to me. It's very, very funny in a lot of scenes.
That's the issue for me. Is I wish it was more. Over the top.
I think
it could have been more.
You said like Brian De Palma had directed it.
Yeah,
it would have
like there's one scene where he's like, "Stab me, stab me," where it's like. Really over the top, and then like the rest again, it just feels like a lot of talking in rooms.
Nah, there's several scenes where he goes over the top.
Yeah,
there's not just one.
Just the end scene especially is really funny and very De Palma.
And there's a chase.
Very De Palma.
There's a chase sequence.
It's very short.
Yes.
It's not like
Who
it's
is that
just
guy? I don't even remember.
That's
George C. Scott's
Campbell
son.
Scott. George C. Scott's
Yeah, I know,
son.
but what is he in the movie?
Oh, he's just hired by Derek Jacobi.
We'll get to this.
Right.
He's
So
an
this movie
actor.
was written by Scott Frank of the Queen's Gambit fame.
Yes,
who's mostly known
He's done a lot
as
of
like,
shit.
yeah, he did like Out of Sight, Get Shorty, Logan, The Wolverine.
He's like a
no
very,
shit.
very successful screenwriter.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this feels absolutely like one of those spec scripts that like gets real hot and that
Yep.
everybody wants to.
Well, what I read was that after Henry V, Kenneth Branagh had a lot of heat, and he just had like a ton of scripts sent to him, and this one spoke to him because. Spoiler alert, this movie is about past lives. And that's what made him like, I couldn't put it down. Me and Emma, we both loved it. He was
Or
married
was
to
it
Emma
like,
Thompson at the time.
I get to play 2 roles? Yes, please.
Yes, exactly.
Well, okay, you say
Exactly.
that, but apparently in the original script, the past couple were not supposed to be played by the same actors as the current couple. So he put that in.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would have made more sense and been maybe a little bit more interesting.
I love how like in love with himself he is.
Oh,
and then I love a vanity picture.
It's part of the charm. Yeah.
This is
this is a vanity picture.
movie if I ever saw one.
I wish there were scenes where he was like taking his shirt off and stuff like that.
Save that for Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is all over that.
But it's also he's also showcasing Emma Thompson as well, his wife. And I will say, like, a lot of times we talk about, Gigli, how on screen sometimes real life couples don't have chemistry.
Yeah.
I thought they definitely had chemistry.
Yeah,
in
they're very
this.
good together.
They're great in Much Ado About Nothing as
yeah.
well. And then they would break up, I think, 4 or 5 years after this movie. Sadly. They
Who do you think
divorced.
broke up with who?
I want to say I thought I heard that he like cheated on her or something, but I mean,
that
who's
sounds about
to say?
right.
I mean, maybe that could have been some like British
like,
tabloid, but I don't know.
Helena
If that's
Bonham
Derek
Carter.
Jacobi got in between them.
Oh no.
well, he is in all his movies.
No, it was Wayne Knight.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
guys, Wayne Knight is in this movie.
Doing a weird whistling voice
His
in
name,
the movie.
his character's name is Piccolo Pete.
Guys, you know how
in
much
this
I love
movie.
Seinfeld, and I forgot. Okay, here's
Wait, Seinfeld the man?
no.
Because Batman.
Not right now. But
You
like,
can't make comedy anymore.
what's the deal with comedy these
You
days?
couldn't make a Blazing Saddles today.
Go see my Pop-Tart movie. I mean, obviously Seinfeld, one of the greatest shows of all time. But it's always great when I get to see actors from that show get major roles, and I forgot how much he's in this movie.
Yeah.
And he's really good. He's like the comic relief.
He's always playing like the kind of skeezy,
It's a little
like,
skeezy, yeah.
sleazebag,
But this was
Did
in
Wayne
the
Knight
early
ever
90s.
get like a starring role?
Not that I
That's
know
like-
of.
Not
I'm
that
looking
I-
here through his filmography. Like you feel like a bushwhacked or
Oh,
something
I
like
believe that there was several failed pilots that he had where he was the main star. I think but they never, they never went to air. Or,
There's no like Wayne. I see here a movie from 1985, The 6 O'Clock News, and Wayne Knight is second billed.
6 o'clock news.
Jeez.
Well, he went on to have a very big role in Third Rock from the Sun.
Did he?
He was dating tall girl who was in Viva Rock Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry,
yeah.
Sally. So he was like, again, a side character on that. So not one of the main cast either. But
God, he's had a shitty film career. Just looking at it now.
Hey, man,
no, he was
Jurassic
in
Park.
JFK.
Yeah, he's in
yeah.
JFK.
And-
Wait, is he in JFK?
Yep, and Basic Instinct. But again, this is all around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
after
is
a
like
while,
his
he kinda just
agent
stopped
like
being in
books of
things.
Born on the 4th of July, Dirty Dancing, To Die For.
He's great as that like character actor because he just has
Yes.
such a presence. You know?
After Space Jam, like that's death for richer or
boy.
for poorer. The Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars.
Oh my God.
What?
the Brave
Goes
Little
to
Toaster
Mars?
sequel.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Wayne, you're too good
Cheaper
for that.
by the dozen. I remember the last time I saw him in a theatrical film, Punisher Warzone. Oh, he's in Hail Caesar too.
Oh shit.
Oh man, I have to see Hail
Gotta
Caesar.
rewatch that.
Every time, like it's like every day I'm hearing about a new actor that I didn't know was in that movie. It's like a bajillion people
There's
in that movie.
everyone is in that movie.
And also Robin Williams is in this.
Yeah, briefly.
He's in 3 scenes actually.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He's very memorable, but he was in Much Ado About Nothing.
He was in Hamlet.
Oh wait, was he in Much Ado About Nothing?
No, he wasn't in Much Ado.
He was in Hamlet. Was he the grave
I'm
digger?
thinking-
With no.
No. I'm thinking
No,
of Michael
he was
Keaton.
he was like a foot soldier who was in love with Laertes.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Billy Crystal was
he was the grave digger.
Jackie Gleason?
No,
I don't
Billy
know, one of
Crystal
those.
was man. I gotta rewatch that Hamlet, and also I should watch Henry V because I've only seen like one scene from it. But yeah, this movie,
This was the 90s. It was 91.
91, so it's
seemed like-
early.
it seemed like that was the time for like thrillers.
Yep.
Yeah, see, they would in the mid up until really all of the 90s, they just became so synonymous with the time, and I wish this type of movie would come back.
Like I'm thinking of, okay, there's like Basic Instinct, you got
Fatal Attraction.
Jade, Fatal Attraction, like Jagged Edge, I remember.
Yeah, Fatal Attraction was 1987.
Holy shit.
well, what was that
Yeah.
Ray Liotta movie I watched with him, and he's like the creepy cop? I mean, I know there's like a
Unlawful
million.
Entry?
Yeah, so I just watched that recently.
But what
and it's like,
about,
feels like movies like those were like a dime a dozen at the
1992.
time.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck, what else am I thinking of?
Unlawful Entry was pretty fun.
Okay, it'll come to me.
Oh, but again, there were a million of these movies.
Oh, Shattered with Tom Berenger.
Oh,
It's like these kind of scripts that have like hooks. They have like a
Yeah,
Yeah.
the,
twist.
Joe Esteraz was
Yeah.
a big
Yeah, it's like
screenwriter
an
who would sell
erotic
stuff.
thriller, and I wouldn't really call this an erotic thriller because there's really
like the least
there's
erotic
no
thing I've ever
eroticism
seen.
in it.
Shattered. What an erotic thriller. Tom Berenger, Bob Hoskins, Corbin Burnson.
I'm turned on.
The
I don't
twist
know about
in
you
that
guys.
movie is so we burst out laughing in the theater. It was so funny.
Well, you say twist. This movie full of twists.
Yes.
And that's again that was a thing, and I want more. Well, again, it's like I'm having nostalgia for a time and a place, and it's like we can't just make movies like that now. And if
Why not?
if you do, they end up being homages. But yeah, no, you're right. We could go
You need
back
a
and make them
good
again.
90s like adult and starring adults, not like pornographic.
Well,
or
that
anything,
Dark
but-
Water movie was like
Wait,
that.
Colin,
Yeah.
are you coming out against? You're like, there's too many sex scenes in
No,
movies.
no. I just mean that when you say
I know.
adult, it's
adult.
just like,
you mean
whatever.
you think of porn? Yeah.
Sure. But he's like just a grown-up movie.
Well, even that
skeezy
unlawful entry
thriller.
movie. Hey, there's actual sex scenes, and it's just a man and a woman. Actually, there's multiple sex scenes. Like you don't even see that anymore, and I hate it.
The issue is that has been doomed to streaming, and because they're working with so little budgets, there's like no style in them, and it's like, but that's what people want, and they want to go to the theaters and see that.
Yeah.
They don't just want to see blockbusters.
No,
that sucks.
Like I said, that Ben Affleck movie, Dark Water, that came out a few years ago, not a great movie, but it was that type of movie.
Wasn't it Adrian Lin who directed that?
I don't know.
The person who made
that, but that had some twists.
Yeah, I kind of like that good kind of corny, cheesy, fun like thriller that have ridiculous twists and reveals.
And this is even more ridiculous because you have a supernatural bent to it.
Yeah, kind of.
Which is funny.
It's amazing. It's about like reincarnation and kind
Deep Water. It was Adrian Lin. I was right. The person who made Fatal Instinct.
Fatal Instinct.
Is it the comedy?
Fatal Attraction. Sorry.
Okay.
Fatal Instinct is the Carl Reiner parody movie,
which I
starring. Who stars in that? He's really funny. Let me check. It's Armand Assante.
Armand Assante.
That's right.
That movie's funny.
That movie is funny. He commits.
Yeah, he does.
It's better than Silence of the Hams or Plump Fiction.
Oh God.
Any of those. But before we get into the plot, I have to call out Patrick Doyle, who is the composer of this movie.
Boy,
he is Kenneth Branagh's man. He does most of his movies. I have loved his scores again ever since Hamlet. I used to listen to the Hamlet score in high school. I thought it was so good. And he's trying to be Bernard Herrmann for this movie, and that's fine. Like
right
they
from
did
the
they did the same thing in Reanimator. It's an homage, especially at the beginning. Yeah, and I like it. And obviously, I'm a huge Hitchcock fan too, so I like it when people try and be Hitchcock. It's fine.
Yeah, man, this opening is bombastic. I don't think the score really lets up for the entire movie.
No, it does let up, but it comes in toward. And I feel like the entire third act, it's like at 10.
Yeah, and then it goes to like 15 in the last 10 minutes.
So this opening sequence, and it's so funny to read about this movie, and Kenneth Branagh's like, we had to make it black and white because people were confused.
Yeah, they didn't plan to shoot it that way, and apparently the costume designers were upset because they were like, well, we would have picked a completely different colors that would have looked better in black and white, right? And you can, I guess maybe as a colorist I can kind of tell, but I appreciate the black and white.
So wait, I have questions about this opening. Unless I missed something, do they tell you what's happening? Because Kenneth Branagh is on death row.
Yes.
So they say for murdering his wife, right?
It's just like a 4-minute opening of just newspaper clippings, newspaper headlines.
The openings are
popular composer
so
killed
long.
his wife.
It's very long, but it tells you the entire story. So it's like this composer, Strauss.
Roman Strauss.
His wife is killed in a robbery. This is just like from multiple newspaper clippings. It tells you, how he ended up on death row. It's like his wife was murdered in a robbery, and then his alibi doesn't hold up, and then other people are questioned.
He's on death row for the death of his wife.
He's blamed for the murder, and now he's on death row.
Yes.
In a very, very kind of funny scene, I guess. Andy Garcia.
Kenneth Branagh comes out of the shadows like he's Hannibal Lecter, and he has a German accent, which we all know he's great at.
Yes.
A la Oppenheimer.
Yes.
And of course,
he's good in Oppenheimer. I like him in that movie.
He's fantastic in Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm. I don't think
How dare you insult my favorite filmmaker, Justin?
I even liked him in Tenet when he.
Oh God, he's terrible.
It's a ridiculous accent in that.
He's got to stop with the accents. Come on.
I love it.
He doesn't have a real voice anymore, Colin. He's been Christian Bale.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Tom Hardy, who another master of accents.
Or Gary Oldman. Who knows what his real voice is?
Have you seen that clip of the behind the scenes from Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula?
No.
It's Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
He's Gary Oldman in full Dracula outfit with the red robe and the big buns on his head, and he's getting into it with Francis Ford Coppola, but he's talking in his real accent. It's I don't care, he's got to come here and say hello to me. He's in the giant.
So he is British, because I didn't even know.
So funny.
Yeah, he's British. No, he's actually Torontonian, April.
Interesting.
I don't care what you're talking about, Francis.
He's like a Don McKellar.
Yeah.
Okay, so this sequence
Canada's Kenneth Branagh. Don McKellar.
So Andy Garcia comes in. He's a famous writer. He's up for a Pulitzer or something.
Like a reporter,
like a journalist or something. And Kenneth Branagh is getting his hair cut. I guess he's getting an electric chair, so his hair has to be.
You could say scissors are a motif in this movie.
Oh my God, scissors
snip,
everywhere
snip.
in this movie. The way he like comes out of the shadows to reveal that he's got this like goofy bowl cut. And he has like a sound.
We called it the mo.
Yeah, but it has
Give
like
me the
this.
mo.
It has like this stinger sound effect. It's like a rattlesnake, like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's little touches like that all over. So he says something to Andy Garcia, we don't know what, and then they're leading him down the hallway.
He says like, "Oh, did you kill your wife?" And then
he's like, "Let me whisper something."
Kind of like whispers something in his ear, and then he's like onto death row. But then like Andy Garcia is looking for the scissors. He realizes, oh shit, he's got them. He's walking towards Emma Thompson, and then
Who's supposed to already be dead. So it's a dream.
It's a dream. Emma
Dream
Thompson,
logic, people.
I guess. And then Emma Thompson.
Oh yeah, so this never happened, even though previously they indicate that black and white is the past.
Yes.
What the hell?
I know, it's very...
It's the past, but it's also her dream. Oh,
Wait,
okay.
so
not
Emma Thompson dreamed that she met Kenneth Branagh, even though her character is supposed to be dead in the past.
Yes.
And she also imagined Andy Garcia being like, no!
You could say she's dead again. By the way, guys, I don't like this title. It doesn't even make sense.
What was its original title? It had to have another one, right?
Yeah, it should have been called something to do with cutting or scissors, but also...
It was called Scissors,
You're not dead again. You're alive again because there's reincarnation. It's not a good title. It could be better.
So it should be Alive Again? Then you think it'd be a sequel to Alive.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, so we're in the present day of 1990 LA.
1991.
And
LA.
she wakes up and she's in this convent?
I think it's an
School
orphanage.
for boys.
School for boys.
Yeah.
Which...
How did she end up here?
She just showed up. That's what they
Okay.
say. Because she's confused. And then we learn that she has amnesia.
She has amnesia and she's mute. So
Yes.
I don't know how the nun knows that she has amnesia if she's mute.
Maybe she wrote it down.
She can write it down, yeah.
She's telling the priest who runs the place, like, oh, she found her climbing over the fence the other night in a rainstorm or something. She didn't know, couldn't speak.
Saying this cryptic, she
she-
said a cryptic phrase when she's dreaming
She
nightmares.
she has one single white glove on her. They don't know where she's from or who she is.
And the priest is like, get this broad out of here. He hates her.
He's
and
like, get her outta
He
here.
is so not nice at all. And he's like, I know somebody we can call. So they call Kenneth Branagh, who
I'm
is...
walking here. I'm doing an American accent.
What's his name? Something Church?
I think so. Oh, yeah, that's
What's
right.
his-
Oh yeah, because he
Mike.
goes.
Mike Church.
You can tell he's a good man because his last name is Church.
Well, unlike the priest, who's not a good man. But so we find out that
I don't know
he
if I
grew
trust
up...
a priest with a home of boys.
He grew up in this school for boys, so that's how they know him.
Yeah, he's an orphan. But you see on the gate of the orphanage, they have like a treble clef.
Which might come into play later.
Comes into play later. So we're introduced to Kenneth Branagh's character. He's such a dork in this movie.
Yeah.
As this character. And I like he plays him very well, I think. In his accent,
He's very like, hey, what's going on here?
it's just very weird.
Oh yeah, I'm American. Give me a slice of pizza.
Yeah, it's just funny because he drives this vintage Corvette, and you could see him like, I want to play like this cool detective, but he
Yeah.
plays him as such a dweeb.
Yeah.
Like he's not cool at all.
He almost looks like he should be in like a sitcom or something.
Yeah.
Also, like the way
Yeah, that's
he's kind of
exactly
acting.
what he looks like.
Yeah.
It feels like Just Shoot Me, starring Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, he's got this big,
Oh.
he's got this big puffy like feathered hair.
Yeah,
all that sort of
he's
stuff.
not. He doesn't come off as cool. Now his other character he plays, I would say yes,
Very cool.
very very sexy, Roman Strauss.
Strauss. Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So yeah, he finds her and then he takes her in and is like, okay,
We're skipping over.
what do we
We're
skip
skipping over. We first meet him. He's going to meet Robin Williams.
Oh, he meets him first, right?
His specialty.
I'm an ex-therapist that lives in a meat freezer
That
now.
was fired for sleeping with his patients.
Yeah, Robin Williams kind of comes up. He's
his
giving
license.
money to Robin Williams because some ex-patient of Robin Williams left him like $11,000 or something. So apparently Robin Williams like slept with a few of his patients.
And he got nailed.
He got nailed by like some undercover like woman or something like that. Anyway, they like revoked his license or whatever. So
It's
he just
fun.
works in a grocery store now, stocking
Yeah,
shelves.
it's fun though seeing Robin Williams in a drama.
And
not a
I have a
comedy.
few movies for you. Jacob the Liar.
Right,
Good
okay.
morning, Vietnam.
I guess so. But I'm just saying, like, He's obviously
60-minute. Was it that photo one?
Oh, 1 hour,
1 hour photo.
Boy. But like obviously he's reading. He's saying scripted lines, but he's kind of still like Robin Williamsing it up.
He's charismatic. Yeah, he's
it's nice that he's not doing voices of minorities like he usually does.
But
in
he
his
still
shtick.
kind of has this like Robin Williams energy.
Yeah.
Like even though
it's
he's
good.
playing,
I think he's a very good dramatic actor.
Even though
who,
he's playing a scumbag, he's again very compelling to watch. And apparently he believes in past lives.
yeah, I mean, everybody believes in
Everyone
past
does
lives.
in
the
this
ease in which everybody believes this is a thing.
All right, well, now's as good a time as any. Do you guys believe in maybe the possibility of reincarnation?
No.
No.
I'm going to say yes.
Maybe.
No, you die and that's it.
Maybe.
Goodbye, that's it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm so we've got one yes, one no, and one maybe.
Maybe.
But haven't you ever felt like you saw something and you got like deja vu and like you're like, well, I've never seen or heard this thing before, but I feel like I have. It's familiar, and I feel like that could be a past life thing.
Well, I think it's when you have deja vu, I feel like
it's a neurological condition that is activating in your brain.
I feel like it's more present based. You're not like, oh, I'm thinking of this past life, like, 40 years ago or something. You're thinking like, oh, didn't I do this last week or something?
I mean, I think the reincarnation thing is like, it makes you feel better that there's something beyond the moment that you're living in right now.
Duh. And I will hold on to that. Also, reincarnation, a very big thing in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's my philosophy. So
Avatar: The Last Airbender?
That's right.
Wait, is there a lot of reincarnation in it?
Well, yeah, that's the whole basis of the Avatar cycle.
Right, chosen ones and bullshit like that. Yeah, not a fan of that. Chosen one stuff.
Yeah, well.
Friendships can last more than one lifetime.
Oh, sure.
But
so can love.
You are defined by your memories.
Yeah.
That's who makes you who you are.
So,
maybe they can. I don't know. Anyway.
April, convince me that past lives exist.
So, Branagh shows up at this orphanage.
But I believe in ghosts, though. Ghosts,
for
definitely
sure.
true.
I don't believe in that.
So
Wait.
That's a bridge, a step too far.
Yeah, so past lives good. Ghosts not. Are there no ghosts in Avatar? There's got to be.
Yeah,
he's spirits.
He talks. Well,
those are ghosts.
Yeah.
Those are ghosts.
They're not like walking. Well,
I don't actually believe in ghosts, in case people were wondering. So.
Okay. Anyway, so he meets Emma Thompson.
Yeah, he goes to the
has no
orphanage.
name at this point because you don't know her name.
Picks her up. Yeah, and then he's like, okay, well, I'll take her to a friend of mine, Piccolo Pete.
Wayne Knight.
I whistle when I talk.
Like a piccolo's. Yes, but
and he's like, "Hey, don't worry, Mike Church, he'll sort you out. It just so happened I had amnesia too, and he helped me out because
amnesia is like rampant in the 90s. Everyone's got amnesia.
Yeah, it's a huge plot point.
Yeah, that's right. Even Shattered, that was about amnesia.
Oh boy,
Tom Berenger was like an amnesiac.
I mean,
he was shattered.
I was saying to Colin, like, is that really something that happens in real life?
No, not really.
Like Justin, like, have you ever known of anyone who actually had amnesia? No, me neither.
No.
I don't know of anybody. I think it happens.
I don't think amnesia is very common.
I don't think it's
just
very
a trope.
common.
It's a trope that they've picked up on because they're like, oh, well, think of the narrative possibilities.
I have a feeling.
And all you have to do is like bonk. It happens in anime all the time.
Oh yeah,
people get it.
People get hit on the head and they they forget who they are.
I hate to break it to people, like dementia exists and Alzheimer's.
Well,
which
there's
is,
that too.
There's that.
Yeah.
You can also get blackout drunk and forget what happened, for a couple hours. But that's different.
I'm sure, like, there's. What the hell was I going to say?
There are
Colin suffered from some amnesia.
There are medical cases of people getting like hit in the head or like a nail is through their brain and then their personality changes and stuff like that.
Well, there's like one famous case that happened, and it was like a rail spike.
I know. I learned about it in psychology class.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these
digging
cases
up this poor guy. Through the frontal lobe.
I think a lot of these cases are just people like pretending that they don't remember, just so they can run away from their past life
or their current life.
Colin doesn't believe in any kind of medical.
Well, I'm just
psychological.
No, I'm sure it happens, but it's not as common as.
Colin, did you want me to come tomorrow at 2 to check my thetans or whatever it's called?
What?
That Scientology term for
thetans.
Thetans, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. Colin is not Scientologist to my knowledge.
What are you talking about, Justin?
Oh, no! He turned into Piccolo Cunningham.
You're in a fugue state now.
So yeah, Piccolo Pete just happens to have amnesia.
He did have amnesia.
Did, and then Mike Church also helped him as well. So
Do you think Mike Church had amnesia too?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Well, I think that he's just like, well, I also just woke up in this orphanage when I was a boy, and I don't know where I came from.
So I guess like
this orphanage is like pulling out people who don't remember where they were.
Oh, it's like a magnet for like people.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I wonder what it could be. Maybe something traumatic happening at that
Could
orphanage.
be.
exactly.
Yeah, it's almost like it's haunted.
It's like a lightning rod.
No, I don't think haunted is what.
Maybe Hickrell Perot should investigate this mansion.
Oh man, it gets dark.
Oh, that'd be
Hercule
amazing.
Poirot
This is like his
investigating.
chance to play 3 characters in a movie.
Yeah.
Is he playing the child too that got abused by the priest?
No, he's
That's
playing
right.
Mike Church. He's playing Strauss, and he's playing Hercule Poirot.
Oh,
Branagh.
okay. I thought it was
Trifecta.
going to be like Spotlight, but with Kenneth Branagh instead.
Yes, Kenneth Branagh. Yes, I had the opportunity to work with 3 of my favorite actors. Myself.
I will say a technique I always like in movies and television or whatever, or theater, is actors who play more than one character. I always like it
Really?
because it really
So
shows
you must be
me.
losing your mind when you're at the dinner with the clumps then.
Or when you watch
Yeah,
Cloud
no,
Atlas.
it's good point. I loved Cloud Atlas, but to me, I feel like it's just a
I
really,
loved
really.
it.
I did. Okay, I liked it. It's a really, really fun showcase for actors, and okay, yes, not every instance of it is good,
And makeup.
but
Yes.
I really, it's just something I really, really like. Face Off, for instance, there's a reason I like that so much, just because you get to see the same actor play multiple characters. Now, in that instance, they happen to be there's a body swap thing, but whatever. But you know what I mean?
I mean, but that could actually happen. The reincarnation.
This could
is
never
ridiculous.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Unless you believe in past lives.
So Piccolo Pete, he's like a photographer for the
You
cops.
said Piccolo Pete's name like 30 times.
I know. He's like a photographer for the police department, so he takes a picture of her. They post in the newspaper, hoping that someone will recognize
Now,
her.
did he say like $10,000 reward or something? Because they get so many calls.
Oh, I can't
they
remember.
must have.
It's the 90s. Times are slow. We don't have the internet on a mass scale yet.
Yeah.
People are bored.
Everybody is calling, and Mike Church is like, boy, this is better than video dating.
Video dating.
But
Do you remember that?
Colin did that, right, Colin?
Oh, Jesus.
where you send in a VHS tape.
Oh my God. I just saw a poster for something Kenneth Branagh did that it is the most Kenneth Branagh thing ever. I'm going to send it to you right now.
Please send it.
I don't
now.
want to spoil it, but when you guys get it, you can describe what it is.
Okay.
It's probably based on, yeah, it's a modern classic, but it's just the name and the picture on the thing.
Oh my God.
Was he playing Michael Flatley?
Oh my God.
It's called Branagh Theater Live, The Entertainer.
His name is on here twice. Kenneth Branagh Theater Company, and then right next to it says Kenneth Branagh. And he's doing like
The Entertainer. It should say played by Kenneth Branagh.
Check out our YouTube to see
Kenneth
this picture
Branagh
because it's
presents.
really funny.
Oh my God.
He
He looks like he's playing Michael Flatley. Like he's got
no,
It does,
he's
yeah.
doing like a soft shoe.
He's got a.
When I think of an entertainer, the first name that comes to mind is Kenneth Branagh.
Yes.
I love
I
him
think of
so
his.
much.
I do love his dancing. The one thing I did like about this movie is really funny. Is like you can see him describing himself because everybody is talking when they do flashbacks with Emma Thompson, and she's like describing her romance with Strauss. She's like, "Oh, he could do everything.
Yeah.
He could dance. He could tell a joke.
He could sing. He could pick me up.
He was the greatest person at everything."
Yeah, he's a real thespian. But anyway, so we get to this scene where Derek Jacobi shows up, who is a Kenneth Branagh mainstay.
Well, he is like British theater royalty.
Yeah, he was in Hamlet. I think he's been in all of his his Shakespeare movies, and they probably were on stage
He's
together.
very good. He's really good at this.
Like I think the
him a
three of
lot.
them had worked together many, many times before.
Yeah.
and
And
he's
if you
great.
need like a serious person for your hack movie, give him a call. Tomb Raider, Nanny McPhee, The Golden Compass.
Yeah,
Shit, he was in Tomb Raider.
won't-
Marilyn.
Yeah, he's not going to phone
Which
it
I guess
in.
Kenneth Branagh was in too.
He will take it seriously. By the way, Kenneth Branagh, he takes Emma Thompson back to his house to stay the night. He lives in like a castle. This is like,
Hey man,
LA
finding missing people's big bucks.
I guess so.
He drives like a vintage. He's like kind of obsessed with antiques and stuff. But yeah, it's got like a castle turret on this thing.
I'm telling you, that had to be like a famous LA location too. They keep
Probably.
showing that exterior like
Yes.
so many times in this movie.
And then it's revealed later when you see Emma Thompson's house. She lives
Yeah.
in like this
She also lives in
insane like LA
loft type thing.
Yeah, it looks like the
As
body
an
double.
artist.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And not a very good artist either from what we see. But
yeah. Hey, if you
that's-
like scissors.
Hey, unless you want like the villain to be impaled on one of your pieces of art, then she's the best artist.
Yeah, that's right. Spoilers.
Yeah, so whatever. Derek Jacobi shows up. I guess he saw her picture in the paper and he says, look, I'm an antiques dealer, but I'm also a hypnotist.
Yeah, and so let me put her under right now. And he's like, hey,
So-
what's going on here?
The thing about Kenneth Branagh is he's supposed to be a detective. What detecting does he do in this movie?
He just finds
he's
people.
pretty bad.
Yeah, because mostly Piccolo does all the work.
Yes. He does find Andy Garcia later, right? But I think that's after.
He's at the old age bad makeup
He's at the
division.
old folks.
We
home.
will get that. Oh
But
my
like,
God.
I think that also, like, honestly, Derek Jacobi did most of the work because he's the one
Yes.
who helps reveal who her past life is.
Well,
right?
I think it's just revealed that what's his name, Kenneth Branagh, just finds people. That's it. I think that's his specialty.
so. Is he a PI?
He's a private
he's like a-
detective, but it
Yeah,
just,
but he does no detect. He's like a middleman, really.
just finds people that are hard to find, and that's it.
If he has to hire somebody else to actually do the finding,
he doesn't really.
So he's like, Emma Thompson, I found you.
Yeah,
You hired me.
He doesn't really put anything together himself. He just sort of finds people, and then they just explain stuff to him
yeah,
very explicitly.
yeah. That's pretty much
It's
what
like,
happens.
I do not get it now, Kenneth Branagh. I just explained exactly
and
what
yeah,
happened.
and he's always very incredulous. Like, what are you talking about?
Get out of here.
Yeah, he's funny though.
So we were revealed a little bit of Emma's past life, and then she starts talking.
Well, she screams.
She
and she
screams,
but she can't.
"Somebody help me!" A line which might come up later.
Yeah, and then she still can't speak. So Derek Jacobi is like, okay, why don't you come to my store tomorrow and I'll hypnotize you some more.
yeah. And when they go,
Can you hypnotize me now? Nah, we're busy.
No,
we gotta
no,
go do
gotta
stuff.
go.
I got to make a sale. I do kind of like that he's an antique dealer, and like it's also established that Kenneth Branagh has antique stuff in his house, so he's also into antiques. Why are these two men into antiques? I don't know. It's just
get it.
funny. It's a weird.
We're very rich,
Yeah, I
and
guess
we need to
so.
spend our money on something.
Yeah, but he's so-
What are people into? Antiques, I guess.
Derek Jacobi takes a liking to the chair that Kenneth Branagh has, and he's like, "Oh my God, that's like some rare.
That's a blah blah blah.
That's our special chair." And he goes, "I'll give you $45 for it right now." And he says, "What? It's worth $250."
Get out of here.
Like that would be like a chair from IKEA nowadays. That would cost that much.
Well, I mean,
What IKEA are you shopping at?
Oh.
Is April doing your shopping, Colin? And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's a $250 chair, Colin."
I'm pocketing the
like
difference.
whatever you say, April. Yeah.
Now, April, you
pocketing
bring
the
me back the
difference.
change.
Okay. I
Oh,
promise.
Colin, it actually costs more than $250
What?
to get you this Billy bookcase.
Yeah, you owe me $50. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they show up at the antique place, and he's like putting another woman under who sounds like she was like molested by her uncle or something. Is that what was going on there?
No, she has like a chocolate fetish or something.
Yeah, but it was like there's weirdness
maybe
happening.
They watch her for a very long time.
Man, Derek Jacobi's like, he's hypnotizing people left and right.
Yeah, he doesn't even ask
That's
before
just
he
something he does on the side.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the main thing, considering he's hypnotizing people every time we see him.
Yeah, it's like every scene is like a hypnotizing scene.
But
so
yeah.
he hypnotizes her, and he's like, "We're going to do this thing called past life regression because that's a thing in this universe that everyone believes."
And by the way, there's a very cool 360 shot, which I appreciate things like long takes. And Kenneth Branagh, you've got
Not like you two incompetents, Colin and Justin.
You've got it. And I read on the IMDb trivia that it took a very, very long time to get that shot right, as you can imagine.
Okay.
But here is where we finally are in our past time period. It's all black and white, so that's how you know. And we get to know Margaret and Roman.
Yes. So this
They
is
have
like,
a romance.
They have a romance. He's like a famous German conductor, I guess.
Yeah, and there's a
German?
great shot of him like low angle, like furiously conducting, and I could not think of Maestro.
Yeah,
It's
I-
so
He's a real maestro. Wait, did you watch Maestro?
yes, and it's
Why?
Yeah.
it sucked.
It's not good.
Yeah, like Kenneth Branagh really gave Bradley Cooper a run for his money. So he maybe I wouldn't be surprised if Bradley Cooper studied this movie to learn how to be a conductor.
I don't think so, but
No. He's like, dead what? So yeah, it's just
Leonard Bernstein.
so we followed their romance. I think she's like a
cellist or something.
musician. Yeah, I think so.
She was in his band, and they fell in love.
They kind of fall in love, and it leads up to their wedding, where we're introduced to Andy Garcia,
who's doing an insane accent.
His accent is so bad in this movie. I don't even know what it is.
No, it's like transatlantic meets Midwestern meets Brooklyn.
Well, they're all trying to do like classic Cary Grant Hollywood
Yeah,
kind of.
accents.
But
That's the thing.
his is bad though.
Andy Garcia sounds like he's trying to do Katharine Hepburn's accent.
Well, Emma Thompson just gets to be her regular British in the past.
Oh, in the past.
Yeah, in the past, yeah. In the current, she's doing a fantastic American accent, as you said.
Yeah, it's flawless.
Hers is like you wouldn't know
Spot
that
on.
she's British.
I don't know what the hell Andy Garcia is doing, but he's kind of like he's like a
He's jealous. That's what he's doing. He's like, everyone's doing accents.
I gotta do an accent. Hi there, fella. What do you say there, buddy?
Yeah.
So yeah, he shows up and he's like,
It's the cheese whiz.
he's like
That's
this.
the thing they would say, right?
He's a famous writer. He's up for the Pulitzer or something like that. But he's like also an alcoholic.
He's a real
Shakes-
Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and he's taken with Emma Thompson's character Margaret because apparently he's a fan of her music,
I guess.
And he's like hitting on her on her wedding day. So you could say he's a bit of a cad. And he's like, unshaven. He's wearing a fedora.
Yeah, he's like,
that's his character.
Yeah, he's got the white suit. You know, he's like playing it up.
Honestly, I love Andy Garcia, and if he was not doing a ridiculous accent,
Yeah.
I would have liked him a lot
he'd
more.
be much
in
better.
this.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, speaking of erotic thrillers, Andy Garcia was a king of those in the 90s.
Was he
what was
really?
his big one?
I feel like
He was in like a milli. He's always like the slick back.
Yeah.
Let me look here.
I always think it's like
Andy
Antonio
Garcia.
Banderas is in those scummy ones.
Yeah, but like Jennifer 8. Let's see here. Infernal Affairs has that sleaziness to
And
it.
he's always like kind of unshaven, and he's got a lot of like Brill cream.
Godfather 3,
Oh yeah, the erotic thriller of
Godfather
our
3.
time.
where he's seducing Sophia Coppola.
Twisted
Oh,
from 2004.
I've seen Twisted. That movie is fun. It's very
Yeah.
cheesy. That's with
Ashley Judd, Samuel Jackson, Andy
yeah,
Garcia.
remember? You know what? I think I watched it when you went to bed early or something. But it was like Morgan Freeman or Ashley Judd keeps like getting like drugged, and she's like,
yeah.
"Why did I wake up and not remember
That's
this thing?"
right.
Or maybe you did watch
No,
it. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's right. She gets like drugged and passes out in every
There
scene.
was a series of like Ashley Judd, Morgan Freeman movies in the 90s. There was Along
Yeah.
Came a Spider, and I don't know if it was related, but yeah, Andy Garcia is like her superior like detective or something. And
Yes.
that was pretty fun.
That's funny. Yeah, I do remember that.
The 90s erotic
My
thriller.
amnesia is gone. I remember.
Another
That was
case
2004,
of Andy. Oh, you're right. That was a little
actually.
later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so so they make it up to their wedding. They flashback. They come back to the present scene, and he's like, Emma Thompson is like a reincarnation of this woman from the past.
Well, she remembers the story, so obviously.
And so he pulls out this like Life magazine from like 1948 or
He just
something like
happened
that.
to have this.
Just happens to have it, and it has like very clear pictures of both Kenneth Branagh and Emma Thompson from the past. And it's like they barely address the fact
no.
that they look identical.
Mike is like, he looks kind of like me. What of it?
what?
And it's like, it's him, obviously.
It's like 100%. It couldn't be. You would like go, holy shit, that looks exactly like me. I do
Yeah.
like when he takes the magazine and he leaves with Emma Thompson. Then Derek Jacobi is like $17.50 for the magazine.
Oh, is that what he was saying? Yeah. He's like, I'll send you a bill
It's
later.
like that guy. He was taking $17 from me. And you said there's like.
We're all laughing. Derek Jacobi,
Hilarious.
he brings the humor to
Comic
something like
master.
this.
But you were saying here, because in the flashback, you see that Kenneth Branagh lives with the housekeeper, the creepy housekeeper Inga, and her son.
Because they fled Germany for the Holocaust.
Yes. So
And Emma Thompson in the past is like, I hate this little boy. Get him out of here. Deport him.
yeah, he has a stutter. He kind of congratulates her on the wedding day, and then in
Oh, I love that when like a character in the past has like a voice affectation.
Yeah.
I hope nobody in the present will suddenly develop that affectation.
well,
It's a great trope.
April noticed this in the scene where he's giving him the Life magazine. He stutters a little bit. There's a few little like
Spoiler
there's a
alert.
few little moments here and there.
They put like these small things that you definitely probably would not notice the first time you saw it, but on repeat viewings, and that's what I like.
Yeah, when he's leaving.
Yeah, on the third and fourth time he rewatched Dead Again.
When he's leaving Kenneth Branagh's house the first time after meeting Emma Thompson, he's looking around the place and he spots the glove.
Yes, exactly.
The single white glove.
And that's going to come up pretty soon. But first, Mike and Grace.
He goes back to meet Robin Williams again, and he's explaining.
Oh, right.
Robin Williams is just casually, like past lives.
Yeah, he's the expert on past lives.
He knows everything.
Everyone knows past lives.
He knows everything about past lives, and and
he's like, you got to kill him before they try to kill you.
Exactly.
That's insane that he says that later.
That's insane.
He's a little on. I mean, again, it's established that he's a little offside, but like that was so funny.
Yeah, that's crazy to suggest it, and that like Kenneth Branagh is like taking it seriously.
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
oh yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, but
what if this guy's a disgrace? He could just be like, playing a prank on you.
But
you gotta kill her.
Moving ahead a little bit,
they go on an outdoor cafe date.
Yeah, so now it's this movie is very noir-esque with the whole detective, woman with amnesia, mysterious woman. Almost she could be a femme fatale. Who knows? So they romance each other, and they have a very lovely date, like on the pier.
This montage is so funny.
It's very funny.
They go on a cafe date, and Ron Silver, who's running the cafe, says like they lost their liquor license. It's like, what is this scene about?
Well, isn't he like, it's okay, we'll drink tea or something out of plastic styrofoam cups?
So they have this like falling in love montage that ends in a rainstorm. They're on Kenneth Branagh's roof, dancing in pouring rain with like an electric lamp,
a radio,
like a
stereo,
a tall 6-foot electric lamp that you would have in your living room is on top of the roof in the pouring rain. What is happening?
That is one of the most bizarre visuals I've ever seen. Now, in another favorite movie of mine, Little Italy, Hayden Christensen also has like a rooftop garden with lamps plugged in everywhere. And to that I say, what if it rains? Well, now we know.
I'm sure
it happens in this movie.
Those might be outdoor lamps, which is a thing. This thing is something he took from his living room.
Yeah, and like they're gonna get electrocuted, guys.
I know, it's crazy.
It's funny.
So now we get a really funny scene. So Campbell Scott shows up out of nowhere. I guess he saw their picture in the newspaper, and he's like, "Oh my God, Emma Thompson is my long lost wife. She disappeared like a few weeks ago.
She's on medication. That's why she can't remember anything." No, I didn't know George C. Scott had a son who was an actor.
Yeah.
But now that I look at his face, I can totally see it.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. I think he directed a few things too.
He did. Is he the one who directed Apartment Zero?
Maybe.
Let me check.
I don't know what that is.
It was a little thriller. No, I'm thinking of Martin Donovan.
Okay.
Someone else different.
But yeah.
All I remember him from is Dying Young with Julia Roberts. It was like a rom-com where he's dying of cancer.
Wait, I'm going to look because I know Campbell Scott's face. Has he been on like a bunch of TV?
Probably.
I don't know.
Oh, he plays... I don't remember what his name is, but Peter Parker's dad in the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
That's right.
Oh shit! Yeah,
that's right.
He
was the super spy.
The Andrew Garfield movies.
Yes.
And was he a Wilt Stillman? No. Oh, he was in a really fun Canadian movie called Top of the Food Chain.
Oh, I've heard of
which
that.
was directed by John Pace, the guy who did Crime Wave.
Oh, well, we saw Crime Wave at the Spectacle Theater. That's that Crime Wave, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Not the Sam Raimi
No.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one where the guy's trying to write a book.
It was funny. You were talking about, I listened to your podcast about your New York trip, and you're like, oh, I still haven't been to the Spectacle Theater. And I'm like, I've been there. The one place I've been, maybe that you haven't been, film related.
You always have that one.
Exactly.
Campbell Scott is like, thank you. This is my wife. Kenneth Branagh. Obviously, he's suspicious. He's like, hey, give me some proof. And he's like, here, I've got the other white glove. And he's like, oh, great. Okay, you can take her. Bye.
And Emma Thompson is like, I don't remember you, but okay. Let me get into the car with this stranger.
Willingly goes along, and then Kenneth Branagh is walking away and kind of looks at the glove, and then he's like, realizes it's the same hand.
And he's like,
it's two left hands. And
almost
he's like,
got me.
Almost got. So they're like,
and then it goes like, boom, and he chases after him like it goes from 0 to 100.
Yeah, it's really funny. So
like a dog going after like a bone.
Yeah, they're both running down the street, and then he like corners him, and what's his name? Campbell Scott gives him like the worst like karate kick.
He does a spinning crescent kick, and he's terrible at it.
He's so
but
clumsy.
Why did he do that? And then he kind of like misses, and then what does he run away, or he jumps over the thing?
He kicks him, and then he like just runs away, and then Kenneth Branagh is like on the ground. Emma Thompson catches up, and a really funny line that I remembered from like the 80s when I first, or 90s when I first saw this. He's like, that fucking guy looked like he knew karate to you.
Is he just incredulous that he did that?
Yeah,
or is he like he's not who he thinks he
he's
says
out
he
of
is?
nowhere. Like, oh, how did this guy know karate?
I hope he won't come back.
Nope, never does.
Unfortunately, he doesn't.
It
Yeah.
doesn't come
Would have
back.
been cool if he did somehow, but no.
Yeah, if at the end Kenneth Branagh had to fight Campbell Scott in a karate duel,
That would be funny.
I would.
and Kenneth Branagh's like, I've learned a few moves since last week.
I want to see him like punch, like do a bare knuckle like boxing thing.
Yeah, but again, he's like such a dork. He's
Yeah.
not a tough guy at all in this movie. He gets his ass handed.
Has Kenneth been in any action movies? I'm looking here, like as the lead.
Tenet. I mean, no,
Well,
he's not that. He's
no.
not.
Has
his lead.
he done any action?
I mean, he was the villain in Wild Wild West.
That's
Oh
right,
my
but
The Spider-Man.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God! That's
No,
right.
it doesn't look like it. Like anything that's kind of vaguely related to that is like Valkyrie. But
There
that's
was
not really
like
an action
a
movie.
dumb one of those terrible like IMDb trivias where it's like all three of the main actors have had experience with what's the guy that directed Wild Wild West, Barry Sonnenfeld, where it's
Barry
like Emma
Sonnenfeld,
Thompson was in Men in Black 3 and Derek Jacobi was in this, I forget what it was, and the writer wrote Get Shorty, and it's
Oh, wow.
those
Well,
stupid,
no,
like,
Barry Sonnenfeld directed Get
well,
Shorty.
exactly, but the writer had a connection to Barry Sonnenfeld because he wrote whatever. Anyway,
Now we get another flashback. So
yes.
it's like a masked ball, a masquerade.
could be called a
Is that what they call them?
masquerade. And really the main takeaway here is that things are not going too well with Roman and Margaret.
I think
he's
money-
running out of money, and there's tension.
He's got writer's block. He can't write any more music.
His opera.
I can't put on a big show again.
I need to call Bradley Cooper. I've lost my conducting mojo.
What is the line that he says that was in all the clips where he's like, "This is me," like holding it in or something like that? Do you guys remember
What,
that?
from
What,
Maestro?
Maestro, yeah.
Oh God,
I forget. No.
I don't. I
and
forgot.
we actually saw
I
that.
mean, we're gonna go to the quotes page
forgotten
of
that
Maestro.
Yeah, that movie kind of came and went in my brain. But that's also a movie that has black and white in it. So I was
Yeah.
thinking of that watching this.
It's hard not to.
I mean, Bradley Cooper is our Kenneth Branagh of this.
Bradley Cooper.
right?
He could never.
Kind of talks like this. Maestro.
I can see Bradley turn around doing some Shakespeare.
He thinks
Try it.
he's much better than he is, and I'm not saying he's terrible, but yeah, he clearly has an ego.
He's no Kenneth Branagh.
no, he's not.
Bradley Cooper, I would say, also very lame.
Yes,
Like all that footage of him at the actor studio, like very seriously listening to Sean Penn
Yeah. Oh,
answer
God.
questions
Yeah.
as a kid.
I know.
Love
He's
it.
just that guy in class that y'all hate. Like, professor. shut
Okay,
up.
but he couldn't do Shakespeare the way Branagh does
No,
Shakespeare.
nobody does.
Has Bradley Cooper ever done Shakespeare? I'm gonna look it up. I bet you he
feel
has.
like he has.
Oh, I'm sure he has on stage or something.
Well, he did. Remember, he did the Elephant Man on stage.
Oh yes, and he's like, I've
Okay.
always felt very ugly because he did it without makeup.
Yeah, and he kind of
Right,
twisted his leg
that's
a
the thing.
bit and just like, I'm the Elephant Man.
You know who
Yeah,
also
he's-
did that? David Bowie.
Yep, he did.
He also played the Elephant Man sans makeup. I don't know why I remember that. But
Because
yeah.
you're a theater aficionado.
Speaking of Emma Thompson, did you ever see the comedy The Tall Guy with Jeff Goldblum and Emma
No,
Thompson?
I have not.
And
No. What's that?
Jeff Goldblum's an actor in like London, and he gets into a musical version of the Elephant Man called Elephant, but he has like he has like a trunk. Like an elephant's trunk.
sounds
Oh my
funny.
God, it's very funny.
That sounds hilarious.
I love the Jeff Goldblum vanity vehicle, The Tall Man. Oh, about my favorite Phantasm
I think
villain.
it's like the tall guy.
The Tall Guy, yeah, sorry. The Tall Man is a
Phantasm.
horror film directed by Pascal Laugier that came out in 2012 starring Jessica Biel.
Never saw it.
Okay, well, we gotta get to the third act of this movie. Things are about to take off.
Well, this flashback, Andy Garcia shows up and he starts hitting on Emma Thompson.
Because he wants to get in her pants.
Yeah, so Kenneth Branagh gave her this anklet for their like wedding gift. She loves it. So Andy Garcia is kind of like looking at it.
It's like a diamond encrusted anklet.
Kenneth Branagh shows up and sees them, but it looks like from his perspective that Andy Garcia is like feeling her leg.
It's funny because it's like, oh, scandalous.
Yeah, it's like that classic Austin Powers looking through the shadow scene.
But it's like, oh my God, he's touching her ankle, and he's furious.
Yeah, they had this big blowout fight, him and Emma Thompson, and then, it comes back to present day, and she's like, oh my God, he's going to kill me.
Yeah.
And she kind of like, sees Kenneth Branagh present day. He's like, oh my God, like, stay away from me.
I love that Derek Jacobi's like, hey, can we just hypnotize you, Branagh? And then we can like clear this up. And he's like, no, never. And then the next scene, it's like him yelling at Emma Thomas being like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back and he's like, all right, hypnotize me.
We haven't said how much like scissors are a thing. So like anytime Kenneth Branagh is like in his apartment, he's putting scissors away, he's like moving them around, and Emma Thompson's like, because she's having visions of violent things with scissors.
Yeah, he comes like, hey, why don't I cut this thing off your head?
And then he's like, fine, I'll get rid of all the scissors. How about this one and this one? And I'm like, how many pairs of scissors does this guy have? That's insane. And then we realized we also have like 5 pairs of scissors in our home. So
how many? I have one in the office. We have one in the kitchen. I think that's it. And they're
we have
cheap
1,
plastic
2,
scissors.
3.
No, we have kitchen, office, bathroom. Mm-hmm. And then I also have sewing
Wait, how
scissors.
big are your bathroom scissors?
No, they're small. They're for like
barbers,
trimming hair, right? And then I also have tiny like sewing ones. So 4.
But do you have any like big metal ones that like you always see people get murdered with? Okay.
No,
those are like fabric shears, like
those
that
big
tailors use or something.
Stabbing scissors.
Stabbing scissors.
Yeah. And then he like gives her a gun. He's like, "Here, take it." She's like, "No." It's very dramatic and funny.
Yeah. So then we get again.
And then he's like, "All right, just hypnotize me then."
Yeah. So this is funny. So he does like a first person. He gets hypnotized, and then
I hope that me being in this first person view isn't leading to a reveal of some
kind.
kind.
Because Emma Thompson, when she goes under,
she was in third person.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like third person.
She has a different
I have questions.
So Kenneth Branagh's under, and he's like first person, and Derek Jacobi's like, describe what you're seeing, and he's like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror.
Look at yourself. Who do you
see? He realizes, oh my God, it's Emma Thompson.
I'm Margaret.
And then
big twist.
So he's actually the reincarnation of Emma Thompson, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And then so he goes to Robin Williams again.
They really didn't need this scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could be like, you could be
a
woman.
Previously a woman or previously a man.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Yeah.
And then
it's a common thing.
I wish Robin Williams did some voices to let us know what it would be like if there was he was a woman in a man's body, but
Oh, let me do some cocaine.
I'm sweating.
And this is when he says,
oh, wait, I know how that would sound. Hello.
I'm so jealous you got to see that mask.
Mrs. Doubtfire?
The Mrs. Doubtfire mask in New York.
Yeah,
what
the
is
real
it,
Dick Smith. Well, there's something about to come up right after this Robin Williams scene that's basically Dick Smith's level special effects.
Holy God and Almighty. This is like, wow.
So Kenneth Branagh goes and visits Andy Garcia.
Yeah, so because he finds out that, maybe this guy that got in between this couple's marriage, maybe he's still alive.
Everybody's still alive.
Well, not the main couple.
Andy Garcia looks like Dustin Hoffman in Little Big Man.
Yes.
Just hideous old person makeup on him.
It looks like he's kind of rotting. It's like a zombie, and he has like this.
Did Dick Smith do these effects?
And he has a voice box because he has cancer.
Yeah, but it's like maybe that's a way that they tried to hide. Oh, because he's like a chain smoker. They kind of established that.
He couldn't do his accent.
No, he's doing it. If you listen, he's doing it.
He sounds exactly the same as he did, and he has this terrible Katharine Hepburn accent, which is just bizarre.
Yeah, but he kind of sounds.
His face looks like it's just melting off, and he's got the just patchy stubble.
Why not just cast like an old person?
I know.
To
That's
play
what I
that
said.
role?
Come on.
And like it's a film all about Hollywood. Like cast like an old actor that people will be like, oh look, it's that person.
Yeah, Mr. Branagh, this was the wrong move.
Yeah, and it's back
Kenneth
to back.
Branagh's like, I have the perfect person. Me.
Yeah. It's like when Tilda Swinton was like 10 characters in Suspiria, and she including like one old man and like a giant obese witch.
But it's like Andy Garcia goes to the premiere and he's like, Andy, I have some bad news.
We had to replace your seat. I CG'd over them.
No,
with my performance.
I just thought I would be better.
Derek, your scenes were very good, but I had to cut you out of the film. I took over the role. Me, Kenneth Branagh.
Now, the next big reveal, we kind of like passed over because there's, as you said, there's tension with the housekeeper and her son, her creepy son.
Yeah.
He's like rifling through Margaret's like unmentionables and like and she thinks he's trying to steal like her jewelry.
Yeah, Emma Thompson is like,
she doesn't like him.
She doesn't like either of them, and like she tells them, because I guess they sleep in the room next to Kenneth Branagh, so she's like, this is our wedding night, I told you to go sleep in the guest house.
No, it's like we discussed this, you were gonna move downstairs, and she's like, well, he didn't say anything to me, and she's like, tonight of all nights, can you please sleep downstairs? It's her wedding night. Like that's weird. And then like she says to Roman, like what's the deal with you guys? Like you should fire them. And he's like, I can't. We escaped from Germany together.
I think
they believed in me.
As you can tell from my accent, I'm German.
They believed in me. I love them. But there's nothing between us.
Yeah.
And then later we find out, well, she kind of did have the hots for him.
Yeah. So back to back, we have a makeup bonanza. So after the Andy Garcia zombie,
you think they just like ripped the Andy Garcia makeup and like slapped it onto this other actor?
Oh God.
So he visits Inga, who's also still alive. And her makeup...
It's better, but it's still bad.
It's just weird. It's just very smooth. She kind of looks the same, but she just has like age spots.
We're all going to look that way when we're old.
I guess.
Just like rotting skeletons.
Well, I hope I look like her and not like Andy Garcia.
Yeah. Andy
You're
Garcia...
going to get that Cary Grant accent too.
Yeah, he could be like a ghoul in Fallout or something.
Yeah, his thing is like he smokes...
That's what it is. It's like a Fallout ghoul.
He just needs to like have a rotted nose.
He smokes through the like tracheotomy hole, which is a thing that smokers do. Which is very gross.
And they gotta talk like this, darling.
But he's like, I'm dying anyway. Can I have a fucking cigarette? And he gives him one.
So
I'm 45 years old.
He meets Inga, who pretty much like confesses everything that happened. So
the whole thing,
because she's dying anyway. So it's like her son was the one that
I don't feel there's enough build up to this reveal.
No.
Like, it was my son, and he acted a little creepier earlier in a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's very convoluted to get to the point of like, oh, my son was angry that I didn't get to love him.
It
Kenneth
didn't
Branagh.
quite feel motivated, but I think they just didn't want to give it away. That the son did it. The big reveal is that Derek Jacobi is the son.
You know what? What's weird about this reveal is it's almost like tossed off. Because it's like, oh, and then Kenneth Branagh is like, he's with Emma Thompson. I have to go.
Yeah.
I have to go now.
Oh, by the way, okay, we skipped over the part where Wayne Knight actually discovers Emma Thompson's real life, who she is.
Wayne Knight comes in and he's like, hey, it's me, Piccolo. I powered up, went Super Saiyan. Wait, can Piccolo do that? I don't think so. He's not saying.
Yeah, and
he's like, she's like an artist.
Her name is like Catherine Sharp or something.
Oh,
right? It's basically like...
Is it Catherine Sharp?
It's basically like Mrs. Knives.
Yeah.
Or Mrs.
All she
Scissors.
does is like art with scissors.
It's me, Dickie Scissors.
Well, the idea is before she lost her memory, she was so consumed with the past life of Roman Strauss that her art was all about scissors, and it's almost like a Tim Burton designed this, like Edward Scissorhand or something.
Yeah, it's like he walked into the art department for Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It's like, show me scissors.
Yeah, here's the ideas.
And
so there's pictures of scissors, there's scissor tables, scissor sculptures.
She does everything.
Scissors everywhere. And also I'm like, who would buy this art?
Oh, it's terrible.
I mean, enough to pay for a giant mansion she lives in LA.
Yeah, she must be a hit.
Jesus. I mean, she
has rich parents, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if she's a famous artist, like everybody would recognize her from that picture in the newspaper.
Yeah, so she
right?
must be a struggling artist, really.
She like lives in this like body double house.
It takes like a week for like Piccolo to find who she is.
Yeah, so she's obviously not.
Every time you say it.
It's me, Piccolo Pete.
I love
Why did he
Piccolo
have
Pete.
Hello, it's me. Hello.
I'm just thinking of Pan from Hercules, the cartoon Hercules from the
Which
80s.
Wayne Knight was in as well.
No, it's me, Herc.
He was.
Are you talking about the Disney
No, he wasn't.
Hercules?
Yeah, he was. He was one of the. I think he was with Bobcat Goldthwait.
No. I mean the.
He's not talking
It's like
about
the
that
Adventures
movie.
of Hercules from like the 1980s.
Oh no, I was thinking of the Disney Hercules.
Olympia.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Anyway.
Neither me and April watched that.
No, I also didn't see the Disney
Talking
Hercules.
into the ether.
But yes.
What? You didn't see the Disney Hercules? How come?
Because it looks stupid.
Yeah. It's not that good. Anyway, moving on.
So her house, Kenneth Branagh's like, oh my God, like she's with Derek Jacobi. I have to race to her house. Okay, now this is my favorite scene, and this is the one scene I laughed so hard at watching it.
Yeah.
And it was funnier rewatching it because they went way further than I remembered. So he kind of like runs up to her house. She's in her kitchen and she has like a kind of like bay window, but it has
Wait,
like
we jumped
yeah,
over
that
my
shot.
favorite thing in the movie.
What?
Okay.
Which is after Inga tells her speech.
Oh yeah.
Derek Jacobi shows up and he's like, "Good night, mother. Go to bed."
Let me
and
tuck
she's
you
like,
in.
Let me tuck you in. He's like, thank you. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm so tired." And then it hangs on her for like a minute and a half. You just see her like laying in bed,
wonder what's
and then
gonna
a pillow comes and covers her.
And it's like, and then we cut out. See, at this
That was
point,
my favorite
at
thing.
this point, the score is like,
Oh, yeah.
Mother, do you need another pillow?
It's crazy.
But okay, talk about your favorite thing.
Yeah,
Colin,
well,
because this shot is so funny.
He is running up. So she's got this like kind of series of windows around the
What do you
kitchen.
call that? Bay windows?
A bay window is when it kind of protrudes outwards. You know what I mean?
It's like floor to ceiling windows, and they all have blinds.
Yeah, they all have blinds. So he's outside banging on the windows. One boy, it's like a naked gun joke. Like it is so funny.
It really is.
He goes to the window. Come on, you gotta let me in. She pulls the blinds, and then he goes to the next window.
It's like, you don't understand.
Yeah, you
it's
understand it. Blind. Yeah, but why do you keep doing this? Blind. I thought it like happened 3 times.
like
it
8.
happens like 6 or 7 times in a row, and it's so funny.
And she's like, yeah. And I remember the last time we saw this, which was, I don't know, 3 years ago. You tried to find a clip of that on YouTube to post it.
Yeah,
doesn't exist.
couldn't find it.
Doesn't
but
exist.
God, it's so funny.
I'll post it for you guys.
Please,
Oh.
because it's so funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so here we enter into De Palma mode at this point, where like Derek Jacobi. Well, first she shoots Kenneth Branagh in the shoulder
Because he's like, wait, I have something for you. Never reach into your pocket if someone's pointing a gun at you.
Yeah.
Because that happens in
and
so
don't
many
do it really
movies.
quickly. Hey, got something for you.
Yeah. So she shoots him in the shoulder.
He passes
and
out.
in slow motion, he falls backwards. And it's like,
Yeah.
and this
Derek-
whole scene.
Derek Jacobi shows up. The music is at like 15 out of 10 at this point.
Yes.
It's all like slow motion. They have this like struggle. Like Kenneth Branagh like wakes up, stabs Derek Jacobi.
So this whole scene is my favorite thing in the movie.
Yeah, it's
but
great.
specifically, other than when Derek Jacobi launches himself into the air and impales himself on a bunch of giant novelty scissors. But my favorite part really is during this very, very emotional and dramatic climax where people are screaming and their mouths are open and their eyes are wide, and you are editing dissolving, not cuts, dissolving to their past life characters.
Yeah.
Or in Derek Jacobi's case, just him as a young boy.
Yeah, it's sort of intercut with the night of the murder and
not just that, it's like you're showing like Mike, Kenneth Branagh, and then you're like cross-fading to Margaret on her wedding day and stuff like that. And it's just, it is it's an emotional montage, and I got chills. It's really masterfully done. And it's
is
so
good.
over the top, it's also
yeah.
hilarious.
And then Piccolo Pete shows up.
Yeah. And he's like, Mike, no, when he's about to like shoot Derek
I brought some
Jacobi.
delicious Domino's
Yeah, he
pizza for
does.
you guys.
Carrying dominoes.
But he does the thing that I don't know if people do. enters the door backwards. Just so, you know.
Like maybe because he was holding the pizza.
So you can be
I don't know.
surprised.
Yeah, so we can be surprised, but it's just funny.
I got pizza.
So
Yeah.
I'm watching these scenes right now, April, that you found very emotional. It's
Yeah.
like Kenneth Branagh jumping through the air, being like, ah! in slow motion.
They can be emotional
and you made
and
it sound
funny.
like it was like really slick. There's cross dissolves.
Yeah.
It's not slick though.
No, I love they're like cross dissolves and zooms.
The funny-
No, it's like a cross dissolve to like a what looks like a still frame
Yeah.
of Emma Thompson looking awkwardly while she's being married.
No, I love
And
the
Kenneth
best part.
Branagh. No one can see me being like, like he's conducting.
Guys, it has to be seen to be believed.
Derek Jacobi is like in slow mo, launches himself off this
Yeah.
kind of like mini
And
balcony
his face is like,
with scissors.
"Wah."
And then it cuts back to Kenneth Branagh very slowly in like real speed, dragging over this gigantic scissor sculpture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he has time to move the
Like it's so funny.
like this wasn't like Derek Jacobi accidentally jumping on scissor structures.
He's like, yeah, he leaps.
He's like this is a premeditated murder.
Yeah, he leaps like 20 feet in the air, and then and it's like Kenneth Branagh.
When do you think that he realized, like, what was Derek Jacobi's strategy there?
I think he
I
was
don't know.
trying to like body
jumping-
slam him, and then he was gonna stab
he was
him
gonna
like
like
in the back.
suplex him or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just so funny. He
thought
like
that
just
too.
very slowly and casually drags these things over so that
gonna-
Derek Jacobi falls and
And
impales himself
Jacobi,
on.
like his face looks like he realizes what's about to happen.
yeah,
He's like,
oh, but he can't slow down.
and in cinema's second best, whoa, Wade Knight goes, whoa.
It's more of like a whoa.
Whoa.
It's I like
That
it because
just happened.
yeah, it cuts the tension, right? But I love again that Wayne Knight is in this scene.
Yeah.
Like he's a big part of this movie. He's in the climax.
It's Piccolo Pete.
Sorry, I'm still laughing at like April, her eyes full of tears as it cuts to a black and white.
I'm honestly
shot
not
of
joking, like-
Kenneth Branagh going, "Somebody help me!"
It's very it
Pan over to
I could have
me.
in a different
and the
situation. I would have
zooms are not
cried.
even the zooms are not even in camera zooms. They're like
No, they're
optical
post, they're
zooms.
post.
Yeah, boo.
I would've
Pan
cried.
over to me, and I'm like slapping my knee, laughing.
To me, it can be funny and emotional. I don't know.
And the music's like, da, 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 da.
Guys, you gotta see it.
I guess this was his opera that he was writing at the time of his wife's murder.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
very funny.
And then I think the movie just ends. Right?
I think it just ends. Yeah.
It's one of those '90s things where it's like, oh, we don't need a big like post-amble.
Thank
like,
God,
you know.
man. More movies should do that.
Well, those erotic thrillers of the time, they always end. They usually end like when the police arrive, kind of during like the big finale. It's
Yeah,
just
they have
like
a wide
that-
shot of the house as the
Exactly.
cops are pulling up or
Yeah.
something, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, but that's great. More movies gotta learn how to just stop.
Get out.
Just stop. You know what I
Anyway.
mean?
They had a big ending with another twist, and like it's too much. Cut it out.
Yeah,
it
no.
revealed that like Kenneth Branagh was a dinosaur or something like that.
Past
We
life.
have more than one past life.
Well,
I'm
Wayne-
Jack the Ripper.
Wayne Knight would know about dinosaurs, right?
Oh yeah. What if there was like it zoomed in on Wayne Knight's eye, and he's like, what other character in the past could he play?
No,
that's
he's
not
no,
dead?
he's just a pair of scissors.
He's a
in the past.
Yeah.
reincarnated version of his Jurassic
Yeah, he
Park
opens.
character.
No, he's
He
actually.
opens the Domino's pizza box. It's just like a big pair of scissors. It's like, no.
Who wants some pizza? I gotta cut
And
them
then
up with
Derek
this-
Jacobi burst out of the Domino's pizza box.
No, it's like he flashes back. Kenneth Branagh's conducting, and he's playing the piccolo. That's how he got his name.
That's how he got his name.
Doesn't Kenneth Branagh early in the movie cut some kind of food with scissors? Was it bacon?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's not
Yeah,
something
he's
that
cooking bacon in the
people
morning and he's-
generally
yeah.
do. But so that's why he has scissors, I guess, in the kitchen. But everyone has scissors in the kitchen. Anyway, this movie's amazing, and everybody should watch it. I seriously think it might be one of my favorite movies. Now, I get.
Oh my God.
It's not.
It's fine.
Again, it's
3 stars.
it speaks to me. I don't know.
If you see it, if it's on TV, watch a few minutes of
Yeah,
it.
if
Watch
it's
a
at
few
the end,
scenes.
go to my Twitter. I'll post the last scene of Derek Jacobi being like, "Oh,
Please post that and please post the window scene.
Yes.
But maybe,
So funny.
should we wait until the episode drops or?
No, it's fine. I think people will be able to."
You're gonna spoil the fact that we're doing this. No, it's fine, because people are gonna be like, "What's this movie?" Because I don't think enough people know about this movie.
No.
And that's a shame, a crying shame. So this movie is available to rent on iTunes, I think Amazon and YouTube as well. And not enough people are talking about this movie. It's really, really fun movie. Obviously, I liked it. And obviously, it was my pick this week.
Dead again,
Yes.
Army, rise up.
Yeah, it was obviously
There
my
are
pick this
dozens
week.
of
Can you
us.
tell? Yeah. So if you want to email the podcast, we're at no such thing as a bad movie at gmail.com. And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at no such thing pod. And YouTube, just search no such thing as a bad movie, where we will post any kind of visual references that we make during the podcast. Last week, there was a lot of stuff. Bootleg Bart shirts. The Jackie Chan video game.
Oh my God.
Miami Mice.
Miami Mice t-shirts.
So many Miami Mices. So yeah, that's always fun. And I've started to chapter mark them, so you can always jump to it if you just want to know what the hell we're talking about. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/no such thing as a bad movie. If you're subscribed at the $5 level, you get a bonus episode every 2 weeks. So you get content every week. And this week we're talking about the Fallout TV show, and we talk a lot about video games as well. So that was definitely a fun ep, so check that out. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at April at Mansky.
You can follow me on Twitter, Decloux, DECLOUX, letter J, or every week on the Important Cinema Club podcast.
You can find me on Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us while we pay tribute to Master Thespian Kenneth Branagh, who apparently has
favorite filmmaker.
He has a picture of William Shakespeare just on his
Wikipedia page?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It's pretty funny.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It just says, Kenneth Branagh adapted many Shakespeare plays, and there's just a photo of William Shakespeare.
You think
I was like, what the
You
hell?
think he self-edited that Wikipedia
Yes,
page?
absolutely.
I also love that he's still going. Like, yeah, he's doing the Poirot movies, which, in my opinion, are not great. But we check out the Patreon if you want to hear us talk about those. But he's still, he's still doing his thing. And again, he was great in Oppenheimer. So I'm glad that we still get to witness his genius. And so check out this movie, please. I'm April Mansky.
I'm Justin Decloux.
I'm Colin Cunningham.
And
Man, is Kenneth Branagh gonna like hand April a big stack of cash?
I know I'm really waxing his car over here.
No, he'll just send her like an autographed photo of himself.
Oh, yeah.
Of him like posing.
She's like locking the door.
Yeah.
She's like, Colin, I need to be alone.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
Especially a Kenneth Branagh movie.
That's right.
Next week, Artemis Fowl.
Impossible. Wait, we've already done Artemis Fowl.
Well, it's time to round
It was April's favorite movie.